जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना जय यशोदानन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना जय यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रीला प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय I will chant, sing, recite Sri Radhika Ashtakam by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ji. Kunkumakta Kanchanabja Garvahari Gaurava Pītanācitābjaganda Kirtininda Saurabha Ballavesha Sunu Sarva Vanchitata Sadhika Madhyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Kauravinda Kanti Nindi Chitrapatta Shatika Krishna Mata Bringa Keli Pulla Pushpa Vatika Krishna Nitya Sanghamartha Padma Bandhu Radhika Madhyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Saukumarya Srishta Pallavali Kirti Nigraha Chandra Chandanotpalendu Sevya Shita Vigraha Swabhimarsha Ballavisha Kamatapa Badika Madhyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Vishwavandya Yauvata Bhivandita Piyarama Rupanavya Yauvanadi Sampadana Sama Sheelahardalilayacha Sayatosti Nadika Madhyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Rasalasya Gita Narma Satkalali Pandita Prema Ramya Rupa Vesha Sadgunali Mandita Vishwanavya Gopayoshidalitopi Yadika Madhyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Nitya Navya Rupa Keli Krishna Bhava Sampada, Krishna Raga Bandha Gopa, Yauvateshu Kampada, Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli Lagna Sat Samadhika, Mahyamatma Pada Padma, Dasya Dasturadika, स्वेदकम्पकण्टकाश्रु गद्गदादिसञ्चिता मर्षहर्षवामतादि भावभूषणाञ्चिता कृष्णनेत्रतोषिरत्न मण्डनालिदादिका मह्यमात्मपादपद्मदास्य दास्तुरादिका या क्षणार्ध कृष्ण विप्रयोग संततोदिता नेकदैन्य चापलादि भाव वृंद मोदिता यत्नलब्ध कृष्ण संग निर्गता किलादिका मह्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास्य दास्तुरादिका अष्टकेन यस्त्वनेन नौति कृष्णवल्लभाम् दर्शनेऽपि शैलजादियोषिदालि दुर्लभाम् कृष्णसङ्गनन्दितात्म दास्य चिदुभाजनम् तं करोति नन्दितालि सञ्चयाशु साजनम् तं करोति नन्दितालि सञ्चयाशु साजनम् तं करोति नन्दितालि सञ्चयाशु साजनम्। श्रीला कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्री राधिका अष्टकम की जय। This is as per the request of His Grace Sharat Prabhuji. This Radhika Ashtakam is in Kedar Rag. Just like how Krishna is Tribangi, this Rag is also zigzag Rag. So it's not very easy. So I'll read the translation. Her splendorous golden complexion steals the pride of a golden lotus flower anointed with a tinge of red kumkum vermilion. Her sweet fragrance mocks the fame of the aroma of a lotus flower sprinkled with saffron powder. She is fully qualified to fulfill all the desires of the son of the king of the cowherd men. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. Her amazing and colorful silken garments make the splendor of red coral feel ashamed. She is a garden of blossoming flowers where the maddened bumblebee named Krishna performs amorous pastimes. She worships the sun god daily in order to attain the continual association of her beloved Krishna. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. Her charming youthful delicacy negates the fame of the freshly sprouted leaves. Her refreshing form is worthy of being served by the cooling moon, sandalwood paste, lotus flowers, and camphor. When she touches the master of the gopis, she dispels the burning heat of his lusty desires. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. Although the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, is adored by other youthful goddesses who are themselves glorified throughout the universe, still she is nowhere near Sri Radhika in the matter of beauty, praiseworthy youthfulness, or other divine feminine opulences. There is no one in the material or the spiritual worlds that is superior to Radhika in the expression of naturally loving pastimes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. She is very learned in many transcendental arts, such as performing in the rasa dance, singing, and joking. She is decorated with many divine qualities, such as loving nature, exquisite beauty, and wonderful garments and ornaments. Even among the cowherd dancers of Braja, who are praised by the entire universe, she is the best in every way. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. She possesses the opulences of eternal youthful beauty, eternal pastimes, and eternal love for Krishna. Her ecstatic feelings of love for Krishna cause the gopis, who are also in love with Krishna, to tremble. She is always attached to meditating on Sri Krishna's beautiful form, ornaments, garments, and pastimes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. She is graced with 8 ecstatic symptoms: Satvika Bhava, such as trembling, perspiring, standing up on bodily hairs, tears, faltering of the voice, and so forth. She's adorned with different ecstatic emotional ornaments, such as impatience, joy, contrariness, and so forth. She's decorated with beautiful jewels that give total delight to the eyes of Krishna. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. If she is apart from Krishna for even half a moment, she becomes stricken with wretched suffering, restlessness, and a multitude of other ecstatic symptoms of separation. When she regains the association of Krishna after some effort, then all of her anguish immediately vanishes. May Sri Radhika bestow upon me the service of her own lotus feet. It is very difficult for Parvati and other exalted goddesses to attain even a glimpse of Srimati Radharani, who is dear to Lord Krishna. But if someone glorifies her by reciting these 8 verses, then she who is delighted by Krishna's continuous association will grant the sweet nectar of her personal service to that person, who thereby enters the assembly of her similarly delighted girlfriends. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. This rag is named after Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is a pure devotee of Sri Krishna. So that's it. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So beautiful, really. So I love it, what really is, excites me, how you go to the high pitch voice, then low pitch voice, depending upon the words, the short vowel and the long vowels, So both the three, composer, singer, and the writer, the lyric writer, they all three have to sit together and compose the word. But then only singer knows where the high pitch, the low pitch she has to follow. So Mataji is really an incredible, talented voice you have. I really wonder, Mataji, if you can do me a favor, if you can send me these PowerPoints that you say, that saying that song. I like the song very much. If you could do me for this favor.
The PowerPoint is with Samata Mataji. She prepares beautiful PowerPoint slides.
Okay. Can you send me
Okay,
that?
I'll send you for it.
Oh, that Samata Mataji, if you can send me that, please.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Very
Thank
beautifully
you,
done.
Thank you,
Very
Prabhuji.
beautiful, very beautifully. You sang, Mataji.
All your blessings, all of your blessings, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. Were you going to say more?
No, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji. I just wanted to thank and I'm grateful for the opportunity for Seva. Thanks to all of you for blessing me and entrusting me with this Seva. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Prabhupada. So let's get started. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagara Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shibhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namam. O most manifested incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varanam Tisha Krishnam Sangapanga Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedhasah. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. Uh, he is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharnai Kanipunau Shadadharma Samstapakau Lokanama Hitakarinau Tripuvane Manyau Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizing these, studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are engaged, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Govinda Madi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Shri Prabhupada. So we keep on moving. Today we will discuss lesson 42, tomorrow 43. So Mataji, I believe Samata Mataji is going to recap what we did yesterday. For me, it was morning, lesson 41. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Mandir. Please accept me. So yesterday we did lesson 41. So there are four themes that are covered in lesson 40 and 41. We saw the first two themes about Radharani, Shushtukanta Swarupa, and 5 types of Sakhis in lesson 40. And
Mataji, little louder, not able to hear you clearly.
okay, Prabhuji. Am I loud now? Am I loud now?
Now it is all right.
Okay.
Yes.
So yesterday we saw the themes 3 and 4 that were covered in lesson 41, which is about the types of Nayikas, the group leaders, and the intensity of their love, which is classified in degrees. and the different kinds of messengers. This was covered yesterday. We started off with Kubja in this lesson, and like which bhava. Kubja was also among the three kinds. So which bhava was she in? So the Shiksha Guru of Vijay Kumar and Rajana had already explained about the Swakya and Parakya bhava, but he reasons that Kubja belongs to the Parakya category and but the ordinary is Samanya. The Samanya are the kinds which are considered as prostitutes who are only bothered about money, and their Shringar Rasa is just a semblance. So the Shiksha Guru considers that because Kubja had um, mixed desire of selfishness. She wanted to enjoy with Krishna, and plus, her love was definitely inferior to the queens of Dwarka. So hence, it was considered ordinary. Kubja, Prabhuji went into the background saying that she was a deformative woman. She was ugly looking, but when she had no love attraction for anybody, and but when she came across Krishna, she had a desire to enjoy with him, and the moment Krishna touched her, she became a very beautiful damsel, and she invited Lord Krishna to her home. So her bhava was parakya but samanya. We continued further to see the heroines, that are the Nayikas as referred to in Sanskrit. They are the Swakya heroines as well as the Parakya heroines, which are of three kinds: the Mugdha, Madhya, and the Pragalpa. We started off with the Mugdha. They are at the threshold of their youth, very immature, and very submissive gopis. So they want to enjoy uh, conjugal rasa, but they are very shy to express it. And when they are offended by Krishna, they simply cry, and they are not even angry. Opposite to Mukta is Pragalpa, a complete contrary, who are at the peak of their youth, and they are very proud and extremely eager to enjoy amorous pastimes with Krishna, and they express it very through words, and they act very passionately. They also speak very harshly in jealousy. So the pragalpas are of three kinds: the dhira, the adhira, and the dhira adhira madhya. The dhira are the gopis who show that they are not interested in love making with Krishna, but they are very polite and respectful. The adhira ones are cruel in terms of in context with the rasa. And the dhira adhira madhyam are again of two types, which is the jeshtha, that is the older ones, and the kanishta, which is the younger ones. Now, the combination of Mugdha and Pragalpa are the Madhya. They are, as the name suggests, they are equally amorous and they are equally shy. And they are in their youth is also in between Mugdha and Pragalpa. And they are both gentle as well as hard. They are jealous as well as peaceful. And when they are offended by Krishna, they simply mock at him, and their nature is the nature also is between Mukta and Pragalpa. We go forward with theme 3, wherein these Nayikas experience 8 different stages of life. Now, of these 8 stages, the 3 are very happy, and they are uh, they are decorated and with garments and ornaments. The happy ones are the first one, which is Abhisarika, who are actually have a date with Lord. They dress as per the uh, night, um, trying to camouflage themselves so that they are not seen. The second one are the second stage of life is Vasaka Sajja, wherein these Nayikas are extremely dressed and very anxious to meet the lover. So there, in order to enjoy the pastime with Krishna, they dress themselves very attractively, and not just themselves, but they decorate the place, and their eyes are constantly fixed on the path where he is going to arrive. The third stage is that of a Utkan, Utkanthika. These are very eager to meet Krishna. They now these are because they are into anxiety. They have lots of doubts and negative approach. They are always thinking, what if he is, whether he is going to come or no, or maybe he is with some other rival gopi. So this category is not the happy category, it's the sad category of the gopis, the sad stage. The fourth stage is that of Khandika, wherein the meeting is broken after deciding the Lord finally arrives at the end of the night, making it very clear that he has been with the other rival gopi. That makes her very sad, but she still remains silent. The fifth is that of Vipralabdha, which is that of Viraha, the separation. So here it is uh, it is a stage of a lamented heart, uh, who is weeping and sighing because due to being away from the Lord. It's the viraha stage. And then the sixth is the kalahan satika, which is quarreling. These are very harsh. They never forgive, and even though they are in crowd, they make Krishna humbly fall at their feet and and ask for forgiveness. The seventh one is that of Proshika Bhartaka, which is where the lover has gone far, far away. They are very humble and they praise the Lord in their absence, and they are affected by melancholy, insomnia, anxiousness, restlessness. And the last stage is of Swadhina Bhartika Matha, wherein the gopi dominates the lover, wherein Lord becomes very submissive. This stage mostly is that of Srimati Radharani, wherein they enjoy the amorous pastime in the forest picking flowers. Uh, so of these, the three stages, that is the dating and getting dressed to go to meet the lover, and the last Svadhina Bhartika Matri, wherein the gopi dominates the Lord, those are the happy stages, wherein the rest are of desperation and anxiousness, wherein they are dressed up and they are lamenting. So these are the 8 stages of the gopi that the gopis experience. Then later on we go on to see the intensity of the love of these gopis for Krishna, which is again classified into three, which is the first one is Uttama, which is the highest intensity of love. These are these gopis renounce everything to please Lord, and even if they are deeply hurt by the Lord and they are they have been very unjust, still they do not display it. We saw it in Radha Tattva, wherein Radharani is the most forgiving gopi, and even though Lord really has been very cruel to her, he does not display it. And they become extremely unhappy when they see the telltale signs that Lord has enjoyed with, has been with other gopis. After that, we saw the other is Madhyama, that is when she becomes, here the intensity of love is little less, wherein she becomes unhappy at heart when she hears about uh, the when the Lord is unhappy. And the lowest intensity is the Kanishta, which is low, wherein she is bothered about if any obstacles might prevent her meeting with the Lord. So later on, we saw the 15 types of heroines, which are um, 7 kinds of Swatiya, the 7 kinds of Paritya, and one unmarried Mukta, which form the 15 kinds of Nayikas. We go forward to see um the group leaders. The group leaders, which are the Yukteshwaris, these are also of 3 kinds. The Swapaksha, who are within the group, the Vipaksha, who are enemies, and the Tathastha, which are between the Swapaksha and the Vipaksha. These are again of in accordance to their fortune. They are great, which is Adhika, Lagvi, and Sama. These are classified. Um, uh, these classification we have of total 12. These are in they are classified in total 12 divisions of Yukteshwari: Atyantika, Adhika, Sama, Laghu, Adhika, Madhya, Sama, Madhya, Laghu, Madhya, Adhika, Prakahara, uh, Sama Prakahara, Laghu Prakahara, Adhika Madhi, Sama Madhi, Laghu Madhi, and Atyantika Laghu. Of these, Radharani is alone is a Madhya, and she is the greatest Yukteshwari. Later on, we proceed to theme 4, which is about the Gopi messenger. So when there is an extremely deep attachment that the Gopi experiences, she crosses the threshold of shyness and expresses herself. At that time, she needs a messenger, a duty, to convey her message. Now, these messages are conveyed three ways. One is through body language, which is Kaika Abhiyoga, wherein um, uh, snapping of the fingers and writing on the ground and scratching the toes on the ground, dressing up very expressively. The Gopi sends a message to Krishna, and the other way is through speech. One is the direct speech, which is either directly asking or accusation or making a proud statement, and the other is by deceit, the swartha or the parartha. That is for one's own interest, and the parartha is a request expressed by someone else. That is through a duty. And the third way of expressing is through eyes, like making movements of the eyes and sidelong glances to give the message. And we ended up uh, seeing the different kinds of duties who are who are sincere and who never breach the confidence and never disclose the secret of they are affectionate and they are extremely cunning, and the duty are extremely devoted to the youth leader, and they follow their orders as given to them. So this was again covered in great detail in slide number 12 about the duties, which is Amitartha, who understands the hints and signals of Sri Radha Krishna to meet, and then the Nishthartha, a Sakhi who causes the meeting of the lover and beloved by employing persuasive arguments. So this was covered in the last slide. We ended here, and today Prabhuji will go on with lesson 42. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you, Samantha Mataji. Nicely done. Thank you. So I am guessing, I understand, and I sympathize. These are highly technical. But let me share with you how I keep myself straight in understanding these terms and how I remember there's a technique for that, okay? To understand the technical things. The technique is this. If you understand the basis on which this classification is made, then you don't need to by heart, really. रट्टा लगाना नहीं है, you know, समझना है. तो सबसे पहली बात, again I'm going to Hindi. The main thing that you have to understand different terms, and if you understand little bit of Sanskrit and its translation, then it'll help you. Okay, let me start with Atyantika. Atyantika means extreme. Okay, and the opposite of that, it apekshika, less. So in Atyantika, then also there is a Atyantika Adhika, Atyanta Lagu. So in fact, that book talks about that, author talks about that, that it is really defies the norms. When you say extreme, how could there be more extreme or less extreme, right? But this is to distinguish the relatives terms, you know. So there's an Atyantika Adhika, Atyantika less, you know. So there is Yutheshwari, the leaders are generally Atyantika Adhika. Okay? But then to distinguish Srimati Radharani, she is also Atyanta Adhika, but she is the supreme absolute extreme in what are the qualities. Okay? There is other leaders who are Atyantika Adhika, they're relatively less, okay, but then relatively greater compared to other leaders who are like Apekshika. The word Apekshika means relatively less. They are also great. Apekshika Adhika is also there, but relatively less, okay? Then Lagu. Lagu is lower, just like Brihad Bhagavatamrita and Lagu Bhagavatamrita, right? Brihad is the large one. Lagu means less, smaller, okay? So the Sanskrit word, when you say Lagu, means smaller. So you further qualification you have 3 this way, 3 this way. So let's talk about first 3. First 3 is Adhika, greater, Lagu, comparatively smaller, and then in between Sama. Okay, so there is first 3 lesser qualification, then still lesser than, still higher than that. So again, remember, just to get back, Adhika, Lagu, Sama. Sama is in between. Sama means equal. So Adhika means great, Lagu means less, Sama means intermediate. Then further 3 is Prakhara. So Prakhara, those second level of classification is based on the personality. One who is relatively very harsh is Prakhara. The word Prakhara means really very, very proudy and very kind of not soft spoken. Okay, so that is Prakhara on one end of the spectrum, and the other end of the spectrum is Mridvi. Mridvi means soft, sweet, and in between is Madhya. Madhya means in between. So if you remember this, that becomes relatively easier for you to understand. You don't have to by heart. Okay? So let's go. So fortunately, we have a recap of recap today. Okay, let me share with my slide. Samatavaraji already recapped, but today, fortunately, Brajakumar himself recaps what to his understanding so far been taught to him by Siksha Guru. Okay. So let me share my PowerPoint. Okay, this is the usual slide that you see all the time to remind you where we are. This is the fourth part, in the fourth part, subsection 2, and that is what this one. That is lesson 39 to lesson 44, and this really talks about constituent personalities. Those personalities are there as a constitution of that organization, okay, in their moods, in their particular activities. That is being discussed in this chapter 32 to 36. Okay, so 39 talks about Shri Krishna's personality, okay, assistants and so like that. And the segment for the Gopis' point of view, then also we hear Radha Swarupa and Srimati Radharani's glorification and her group and so on like that, 5 types of Sakhis and Radha's assistants, messengers and so on like that. And then we also did cover much deeper explanation of those group leaders, Yutheshwari. Yutha means group. Yutha Ishvara, controlling of the group, is Yutheshwari. Okay. Today we are going to talk about that. Then we see, so that is what we are going to be talking about today. Okay. So that's what in this black box. And tomorrow we'll talk about Uddipana. Okay, this is the recap of recap. Here, both Sri Gopal Guru Goswami, the Shiksha Guru of Rajinatha and Vijay Kumar, now we have been hearing exclusively from Raj Kumar. Why there's a difference? Rajinath was in the mood of Sakya Bhava, and his role model was Subala, right? But unlike Rajinath, Rajakumara is in the conjugal rasa bhav, okay? And his role model, and particularly following, he is the devotional devotee following Vishaka's group, Vishaka Sakhi's group. You know, so that's why she's in a very, he is in a very, very this particular Sakhya, this particular conjugal rasa. You know, that's why he's the main person talking about. Okay, so here is the recap of recap. Some important elements, important points, 5 different points that we have to remember, understand before we go to the next today's class. Okay, so please listen very, very carefully. First point, Brajagopis or Sundaris. Sundaris mean they are exquisitely beautiful. There is no parallel beauty in the material world. Okay? And they are Sakhis. Sakhis mean the female friends of Srimati Radharani, her group. The same could be there in Chandravali's group and so on like that. Okay, they are very, very great experts in manifesting many vistarni in great details, conjugal pastimes. So that's one point that's already been discussed. Second point, they are great reservoirs filled with faith in Vraja's youthful divine couple. So all the Sakhis, they serve Shri Radha and Krishna. Okay, that's the divine couple. That we have to always keep in mind. Third point, the Yutheshwari, the group leaders, are always remember they are Atyantika. Okay, and the classical generally they are Atyantika Adhikas. Okay, but to differentiate from Srimati Radharani, so sometimes they say Atyantika Laghu or Atyantika Apekshika. They are so Atyantika Adhika, they are great, not absolute. Absolute Atyantika Adhika is Srimati Radharani. But relatively, other group leaders are Atyanta Adhika. and relatively less apekshika adhika, they are relatively less great. So you have to understand that, okay? So understand the principles behind that. Although they are also described as adhikas, but their greatness is relative. That's exactly the point I was trying to tell you. And that's what Rajkumar is now summarizing what he has been taught, okay? And how much he internalized his understanding. So if you share with him, then it will help you also. So they are greater than any other Sakhis in the group. Atyantika, Adhika, they are greater in any other group, but relatively they are less than Shradhika. Relatively great compared to Apekshika Adhika. Okay? So what Apekshika is lower platform than Atyantika. Atyantika means extreme. Apekshika, lesser. So now you understand between the difference between Atyanta Adhika and Apekshika Adhika. Okay? That's the third point. The fourth point, the group member Sakhis are of three kinds. So you have particular group, right? It's a Srimati Radharani's group. So Radharani is the Yudheshwari, the group leader, and under her own group. And then there are classification of that. Just like a class you have, there's a teacher of the class, students are there, but to control and to manage too many people, too many students in a class, generally teacher would appoint a monitor. What's the role of monitor? To assist the teacher in keeping straight about the homework assignments, collecting the homework assignment for the student, and making sure they timely submit. Okay, and sometimes class is too big, that monitor could have also assistant monitor also. So same way here. So the group leader will have adhikas like monitors, lagvi, so three kinds, right? Adhika, lagvi, and sama. Adhika is great, okay, and lagvi is light. So sometimes, in order to a particular class, you have different categories of students. Some are very, very adamant, some are responsive. So to manage the adamant students, then you need a monitor who are strict relatively. So that's why this you need adhika grades. Okay. Then this lagvi, you need to make sure you reason with students who do not cooperate. So deal with them on their level. So these lagvis, they do that lower level, okay? And some are intermediate in between. Okay, now you understand that. The fifth point, each of these three kinds are further divided in three. This I've told you, right? Three kinds of personalities. Prakharas are very, very harsh, strict, demanding. Okay? Then the other end of spectrum of that is the Mridvi, soft-spoken, very sweet. You need both extremes here. And there is in between here also, Madhya. So Madhya balance the harshness and the sweetness. So you understand that? So this slide is very, very important for you to understand. Okay, let's go move on. So there are three themes in lesson 42, themes 1, 2, 3, and the questions 258 to 297. So the first theme, what we are going to hear, a particular composition, particular constitution of a particular group. Okay, so there are 12 types of heroines are there, with examples of some famous gopis. So we understand a particular, like for instance, we will talk about as a role model, Sri Radhika's group. Okay, so Radhika has his Sakhis, Lalita Sakhi, Vishakha Sakhi, and others. So that we'll talk about. So in theme 2, these Sakhis, the friends to each group leader, Radhika on one group, and maybe another group, maybe Chidravali, and so on like that. Whether or not do they act as heroines, Naika, or they just perform as Sakhis as messengers. And we covered that, right? Some of the Sakhis, they function as messengers. They transmit back and forth the messages from heroine, hero. Hero is always one, and that's Shri Krishna. Heroines are there many. Okay? So they transmit back and forth messages. So that is called dutis. Okay? So sometimes, to a much lesser extent, of course, the leaders usually they don't function as messengers, only in a very, very specialized cases, and that too also in a short distance, when their desire is so great that will counteract their normal shyness and directly express their bhavas to Krishna. So then they themselves function as their own messengers. But largely, by and large, they have other Sakhis who will transmit messages. The third theme, that's the most difficult to understand. And if I recall, if I draw your attention, this we covered actually in Ujjwal Nilamani. Remember, there also this issue was raised, the rivalry. Why there is a rivalry among the different gopis? Why Krishna created that? And Krishna deliberately created that. So in Parakya Rasa, the rivalry plays an important role to promote that. Krishna promotes that. So there is a built-in rivalry is there actually. So we are going to analyze, dissect, understanding of rivalry more in today's lesson also. So rivalry among the different groups of Sakhis. And there is a not only just harshness, but real animosity, malice that we are going to hear about it. And that is what Vrajakumara found it quite difficult to understand. Because now we are talking about the spiritual platform. Material platform we can understand. There is a malice and such undesirable qualities, traits. But on a spiritual level, gopis and Krishna, gopis among gopis, how do we understand that? So that issue was raised, and we will hear the explanation why that malice. Because that malice on the spiritual level is not of the same kind of malice that we see in the material platform. Just like kama, Sanskrit word kama is lust, but that lust on a spiritual level, that lust is there, but that lust is not exactly what is the lust in the material platform. So same way here also, this malice that we are going to hear, and that is there among the gopis, but they are meant to increase the love for Krishna. Okay? That is why it is there. So third theme is a little bit difficult to understand. Okay, let's get down into that. So now that I've explained to you the three classifications on one hand, the other three classifications on the other hand, okay? One hand, so here in this slide will tell you. So if you have, this is theme 1, there are 12 types of heroines with examples of famous gopis. So now you'll understand better when we give the examples, okay? When you hear the examples. So unlike all the group member Sakhis who are apekshika, so first of all you have to understand, the leader is usually all the time, mostly without exception, there's always atyantika. And there could be adhika, laghu, or sama. Okay. But those who are group members, they are apekshikas, obviously. If you understand the principle, that they're group members, so they cannot be overpowering the leader. then otherwise the group will not function. Okay. So unlike all the group members, Sakhis, in a particular group, there are member Sakhis, right? So member Sakhis are apekshikas, relatively great, but not in real. And relatively great adhikas, they are atyantik adhikas, they are the group leaders. So Yuteshwari, the group leader, is always called atyantika adhika Sakhi. Now you understand? But not absolute. Absolute atyantik adhika is just only Radhika. There is no equal to Radhika. So unlimitedly great, that is also relatively. So that is the base level. Now we go higher level. So the higher three, there are two kinds of three-way classification, right? First level is this shown here. Okay, I see if it was color slide, you would understand better. In the black and white slide, it's a little difficult to understand, follow that, But just imagine. So just follow the arrows. Okay, so this arrow going. So there's apekshika adhika. There's one kind of leader, and then see follow the arrow. Then apekshika sama. Then apekshika lagvi. We are talking about the group leader. In her group leader, who are the members? So three class of members of this first level: apekshika adhika, apekshika sama, apekshika lagvi. All group members are apekshika. Only the group leader is the atyantika. Just to make sure I keep repeating. Okay. So here that's the other, unlike all the group members Sakhis who are apekshika relatively great, only the Yuteshwari group leader is called the atyantika adhika Sakhi, unlimitedly great. But again, unlimitedly Radhika is also relative term. Absolute term is Radhika. So in a group member, there are three classifications: apekshika adhika, apekshika sama, apekshika lagvi. Great, relatively least great, and then in between. Now the next higher level is based on the harshness of that. So there you see, again, follow the arrows. See that prakhara, who is very, very harsh. Then the other end of the spectrum is madhya, and then mridvi. Madhya is in between, intermediate. Mridvi is very soft spoken and very sweet. Prakhara are very, very harsh, adamant, demanding type. So now you understand that. So let's see why there are 12 members in a group. So first three is there: apekshika adhika, apekshika lagvi, and apekshika sama. So three, and then next level, each of these three is multiplied by the three. This is prakhara, mridvi, and madhya. So 3 into 3, 9. 9 are there, okay? And the two kinds of this atyantika lagu and sama lagu. Just imagine they're like class monitors, okay? So those are addition, not multiplication, because they are not in the other things which we just talked about. So 9 plus 2 is 11. And finally the group leader. So teacher, monitor, and student. Just keep that in mind, that analogy. You have a class, students, then there's a class monitor, and monitor could be his own assistant, might be there also. And the ultimate teacher, of course. Teacher is the group leader. So totally 9 plus 2 plus 1. So that's 12. So there are 12 members in a group. Okay. So now, just to understand, let's give an example. So first, let's talk about Srimati Radhika's group, okay, and with examples. So Radhika's group, there are three classes, okay, Apekshika Adhika, and they are usually Prakara Sakhis. There are three kinds, okay. Again, I told you before, Prakara, harsh kind of nature, then there's the intermediate, and then there's a sweet kind also there. So Lalita Sakhi usually is the Prakara Sakhis, very demanding, and she will tell Radharani, don't be too nice to Krishna. Krishna is very, very smart. He's too smart. Don't get carried away. Stand to your ground. That kind of instruction Lalita Sakhi will give. But Vishakha Sakhi is little bit in between. So when Krishna begs forgiveness and really touching the lotus feet of Radharani, then she will moderate the role and tell Radharani, Radha, please be considerate. See how Krishna is begging you. Be considerate. Please forgive him. So she will play that kind of role, Vishakha Sakhi. And then there are Mrudvi, very sweet talking, very sweet and soft. So those are Chitra, Madhurika, and later on we'll hear the example of Stuga Vidya also there, okay? So, however, so these Ashta Shakhis, including Lalita Sakhi, are all Apekshika Lagvi. So they are group members. They do have their own group, but that's called subgroups. Some Sakhis in that group are so attached to Lalita Sakhi, while others might be attached to Vishakha Sakhi. So they have subgroups. But Lalita Sakhi and Vishakha Sakhi, they don't want to form a separate group from Radhika because of their great love for Radhika. Okay? So you have to understand that. So Ashtashakhis, including Lalita, are all Apekshika Lagvi, lower level. Okay? Related to Shri Radhika herself, Radhika is the Atyantika Adhika, who is the ultimate Atyantika Adhika, absolute Adhika, related to the other Atyantika Adhikas. Now, further sub-qualification. The Lagvi Prakhara Sakhis are of two kinds. One who is the left wing Vama, and other one is Dakshina. It should be reverse should be. But the way I've drawn this slide, because we are facing the slide. So to our left is this Vama, left wing. But from the point of view, from that slide's point of view, is the opposite, right? So Vama, left wing Sakhis, they are too proud, too hard-headed Sakhis, and they demand respect. And if they don't get respect, they tend to get upset, really upset, angry. Okay? And when they do get respect, they feel too great proud that they are commanding respect. So that is the nature of this left wing. Sanskrit name left wing is Vama. Okay? And the example is Lalita Sakhi in Radha's group. They are not submissive at all. So she will always instruct Radha, don't be too submissive, don't be carried away, don't let Krishna fool you. Okay? She'll be instructing all the time. Whereas right-wing Sakhis, that Dakshina, these heroines just cannot tolerate this kind of pride and speak very sweetly to their lover and are conquered by sweet words to them. And Vishakha Sakhi is like that. You know? And Tunga Vidya is still sweeter and softer than even Vishakha Devi. Tunga Vidya has a very, very affectionate love for Krishna also, even though she belongs to Radha's group. But she has, she considers herself a great devotee of Krishna. You know? So the Atyantika Lagvi Sakhis are always sweet, but less significant than others. They are in the lower level. Because usually the dominating type, they always dominate, right? So Kaushimika and others are in that group. They usually get dominated. Okay, so now that we are making some progress, the Sakhis, whether or not as heroines or Naikas, perform the 16 types of activities as messenger. And I told you, write it out front, right? The leaders, usually they don't, by and large, they don't act as messenger. Only in a very, very specialized case, when there's a short distance, they will go themselves. When their desire to express their bhava is too strong to get over their natural shyness, only in those specialized cases, they will act as messengers. But by and large, the group leaders make use of their Sakhis. So Radharani will depend on her Sakhis to carry the messages. And those are the one appointed duties, all right? So what kind of functions duties perform? So this is what it is, 16 types of that. So as the messenger duty, what is our primary duty? Primary duty, of course, you all understand, to transmit, to coordinate the transmission of messages between hero and heroine, between Krishna and Radha. That is the primary role. Okay? All Sakhis do that. Let's move a little bit further. Can the Sakhis themselves become heroines, Nayikas, enjoying with Krishna? So these are the questions being raised, okay, by Vijay Kumara, and we will see the answers. So, and what are the Sakhis that act as duties? What are the messages and what different ways they carry their message? What is a Nitya Sakhi? Do they eternally possess certain specific qualities? Doesn't Sri Radha care to arrange meeting of Krishna with her friends? What are the Sakhi's 16 kind of activities? We saw the main role, right? They transmit the message. They unite hero and heroine. That's their main function. And the Sakhi's affection for each other and love for Krishna in relation to that of their Yuteshwari. So, Vishaka, Tungavidya, they're Ashtasakis, right? Some of the Ashtasakis, they have equal love for Radha and Krishna both, although they belong to Radha's group. Some have more love for Krishna, and they would not desert Radharani, of course, their leader, because of their love. And some are obviously devoted to Radha so much, Lalita Sakhi. She would not compromise with Krishna at all. Okay, now we'll hear the answers to these questions. So can the Sakhis be heroines? That is the question now. The Yuteshwaris are eternally the Nayikas. They are always the heroines, group leaders, obviously. Apekshika Adhika Prakhara, Madhvi, Madhya, and Mridvi have the intrinsic nature of both being a heroine or ordinary Sakhi. Nayikas related to the Saklagus, so there is a hierarchy. You have to understand that. Okay? But Sakhis in comparison to the Adhikas, so there's according to the hierarchy, either they become a heroine or they become Sakhi members. So Apekshika, Sama, Prakhara, Madhya, and Mridvi are known as Dvisama. What is Dvisama means? Sakhis to the Adhikas, but Nayikas to the Laghus. So those who are lower level, they dominate them. But those who are higher than them, then they become submissive to their higher ones. So this hierarchy is strictly followed in a group. So Apekshika, Laghu, Prakhara, and Madhya, Mridvi are mainly Sakhis. Okay? Remember, all member Sakhis are Apekshikas. But then there are Apekshika Adhika, Apekshika Laghu, Apekshika Sama, right? Madhya, Sama. So there's a hierarchy is following there. So you have to understand who can be heroines and who cannot be heroines because of the hierarchy. Atyantika Laghu are Yuteshwaris. So there's Atyantika Adhika is the group leader, right? But group leader also could be Atyantika Laghu also could be there. And they are Yuteshwaris in the fifth category who are Nitya Sakhis. Related to the Yuteshwari, the Apekshika are Sakhis and Dutis. They work as messengers, but not Nayikas. They do not want to become a leader. For the Atyantika Laghu, Nityasaki, all are heroines, but not Dutis. So this is getting complicated. I understand that. I really sympathize. And there is a reason why I encourage all of you, to always go through my slides before coming to the class. Then you will be better able to understand. Because within the allotted my time, I can go only that much, because I have to be time conscious. So I'm trying my best to make you understand, but to a limit, So that's why it will help you if you go through my slides. And my slides are generally, they're self-explanatory. You don't even need to read the chapter also. Okay, let's take a break. Haribol. 1 minute. All right. Okay. So in this slide, what are the messages and what different ways these dutis carry when Krishna is either present or absent? What are the communication that Naika Priya perform? Naika Priya, what does she do when they carry messages? You will understand these terms. Let's talk about it. So you have to say A, B, C, D, right? So A, when Krishna is present, when the duty is going there, okay? Samaksha, Iksha, Raksha means eyes. Sama means right in front of. Paroksha, beyond the eyes. So you understand the meaning. So Samaksha means Krishna is right in front of you. Paroksha, Krishna is not in front of you. So Krishna is present, the messages are of two kinds. One, they give some signals, hints for Krishna to understand. Other, by direct words, Vachika. So signal, what kind of signals she would give? Sending a Sakhi to Krishna by a sidelong glance, a wink, a movement of the eyebrows, and lot can be said through just eyes, or other gestures that these messages will do that. Whereas verbally, also you have to understand, not straightforward, communicated by the Sakhis conversing among themselves, they might do, and let Krishna hear. So within the earshot of Krishna, the Sakhis talk among themselves, but that is actually directed to Krishna to understand, what they intend to do that, and how they transmit the leader's message to Krishna, in front of Krishna or behind him. Okay, now Krishna is not present there physically. Paroksha. So that means that one Sakhi is offered or sent to Krishna by another Sakhi. So one Sakhi is going there, Krishna is not there. So what she will turn to her fellow Sakhi, and she will send that Sakhi to Krishna wherever he is. Section C, Naika Praya. There, Naika Praya means almost a Sakhi, not quite. When three types of Sakhis, Apekshika Adhika, Prakhara, Madhya, and Mridvi, so there are three kinds of Apekshika Adhikas we are talking about. They act as duty for the Laghu Sakhis in comparison with themselves. Those communications are the activities of this Naika Praya. They're almost like Sakhi. So among these, the Samas and the Madhyas are naturally friends. Their friendship is mostly sweet and have no difference between them. Sama and Madhya, okay? Rakas are dominating type. Prakaras. They don't want to be friends with others. They want to be dominating type. The Sakhi Praya, they are Laghu Prakara, Madhya, and Ridvi. They are soft spoken. Laghu means lower level, mainly perform as duties. Their role is to perform duties. They just obey the orders. Their communication of messages is called the activity of Sakhi Praya. Okay, you understand now the hierarchy and how they function. Now, in this slide, what is Nitya Sakhi? Do they eternally possess certain specific qualities? Doesn't Sri Radha care to arrange the meeting of Krishna with other friends? So answers to these questions. There are two kinds of Nitya Sakhis are there always, who want to be a Sakhi and never want to be heroines, never want to be directly enjoying with Krishna. Heroines go to enjoy with Krishna or give enjoyment to Krishna. So among those, there are Atyantika Lagvi, relatively significant. Apekshika Lagvi, relatively insignificant. Everything in a relative term. But the main difference, as soon as you hear Atyantika and Apekshika, right there, your mind should understand Atyantika means they are the greatest. Apekshika, they are the lower level. Okay, section B. It may be a Sakhi's natural inclination, but she may exhibit other types of behavior depending upon time, place, and circumstances. For example, Lalita's diligent effort to break Radha's mana. I told you. Vishaka, it's a little confusing here. One Sakhi is very, very adamant, other Sakhi is less. More a kind of a peaceful role, okay? Peacekeeping role between Krishna and Radha. So when a Sakhi meets Krishna in a solitary place, but in her role as a duty, she will not promote Krishna's advances, aggressiveness. Krishna might say, let me enjoy you. But she'll say, no, I am a messenger. I cannot be unfaithful to my leader Srimati Radharani, because of her great love. So she will not at all agree to Krishna. And Krishna is sometimes does this to test her, you know. So if she were to agree, then her Priya Sakhi's confidence in her as a duty will be compromised, right? So it's quite understandable. So they're very, very faithful. So here are the 16 kinds of activities that perform as a messenger. Yeah. Overall messenger role is that their main job is to keep uniting Krishna and Radha. That's their main job. They coordinate, cooperate, and everything. So how they do that? Describing the virtues of Krishna. So what they do when they go to Krishna, they will glorify Radha. And when they go to Radha, they'll glorify Krishna. To make sure they each other looking forward to meet each other. Increasing the mutual attachment. So that way they will promote Krishna's attachment to Radha, Radha's attachment to Krishna. And they arrange their rendezvous point, meeting places, particular kunja, particular bower, and bringing one Sakhi and offering her to Krishna. Making jokes to make the situation lighter when it's too hot, giving consolation. Radha is waiting for Krishna, and Krishna not showing, so other Sakhi will console Radharani. Take it easy, Radha. He will come. He will come. Believe me, he will come. Like that. Dressing and decorating Radha, the leader, to prepare her to meet Krishna. And that's what the Sakhis do, the Manjaris do. Manjaris are the one actually present when Radha and Krishna meets. And point number 8, expertly expressing their heartfelt sentiments to Krishna, to the heroine, the sentiments of Krishna to Radha, and same thing they'll do when they meet Krishna. They will glorify Radha like that. Expertly hiding their faults and blunders. So negative aspects of each other, they will keep it submerged. They will point out. So their role is to promote them meeting So their negative points they will never tell, obviously, giving instruction on how to cheat the husband and other relatives. So, like rather than his so-called husband, Abhimanyu, how to get around. So they will instruct Radha how to get around, what kind of excuses she must give to Abhimanyu or her mother-in-law Chatila, sister-in-law Kutila, like that. So they guide her, the heroine, to make their job easier for her to meet Krishna. Arranging for Krishna and the heroines to meet in an appropriate time, at appropriate place. Rendering the service of fanning the chamara. So when they actually meet, they serve. Fanning chamara, give sweet food, dishes, and things like that. Reproaching and disregarding Krishna and heroine under special circumstances, only very, very specialized circumstances, they will speak sometimes to smoothen. If Krishna is not cooperating with Radha, then they will smoothen. The same way the other way around. Radha is too much in a mana, then her Sakhi will tell Radha, please calm down. Krishna is begging you. See? So they lighten the situation, atmosphere. And of course, they send messages. And to save the heroine's life, when Krishna is not showing up, Radha is given up eating, drinking, not sleeping. So they will make sure Radha eats like that, to maintain her health. And exercising extreme care and diligence in all these matters. They are very, very expert in that. So these are the 16 kind of activities the Dutis perform. And the Sakhi's affection for each other and love for Krishna. Now, that's what I'm telling you. Let's talk about Radha's group. There are Sakhis, they have love for both Krishna and Radha equal. And there are Sakhis who have more affection for Krishna, but not to the extent that she will give up the group. She will remain in the group. Okay? And then the third group, who are so much attached to Krishna, Lalita Sakhi, she will always take side of Radha. So Sakhi's love for their own Yudheshwari is not that of same for the Krishna. They are called asama sneha. They don't have equal love, either more for Krishna or more for Radha. So that's one group. Other group, Sakhi's love for their own Siteshwari is equal to that for Krishna. That's a sama, equal, sama sneha. So there's a asama is a greater or lesser. So Yudheshwari is greater than Krishna. That's sneha, adhika for the Sakhi. So those who love Radha more, like in this case, it's Lalita Sakhi, that role, I am the maid servant of my Sakhi. So that they take great pride that my Radha is my leader. I am her servant. I am her dear friend. That will always be on their mind. So among them, these Prana Sakhis, Nitya Sakhis are the examples. Then those who have greater affection for Krishna, even though they remain the group of Radha, so greater for Krishna than their own leader. So Krishna Sneha Adhika. What is their understanding? Their thinking. I am the maid servant of Krishna. And those who are equal affection for both the leader and for Krishna, among them the Priya Sakhis and Parama Prashta Sakhis, they are very, very attached to Krishna. I am the follower of Radha, are the best of the Sakhis. The four categories of the Vraja Sundaris, Swapaksha, and again, so there is their own group, the other group, but that's friendly to their group. And then there's a neutral group who have equal affection of both, but because they also support the opposition group, sometimes they create friction between the group. And then there's a clear-cut opposite paksha, pratipaksha or vipaksha, and they will always, always create situation how to opposing party could be downgraded. Always create that kind of situation, inimical. Okay, malice is there sometimes. Inimically destroy what is good and bring that is evil. They manifest trickery, malice, restlessness, pride, envy, merciless, all kind of tricks they use to downgrade, to denigrate their opposing party. So Chandravati's group will always do like that. So now the question is, why is that? Deepaks manifest the inimical and undesirables. So because the pride, self-importance, nature of false ego, arrogance, mocking, there are different ways and they manifest their animosity. Okay? And I'm not going to read all this, how they do it, all these things. So Yuteshwaris do not openly show any malice to group leaders. So Chandravali is the opposition party, Radharani. But Chandravali herself will not show that kind of openly malice. It's her assistants will do that. They keep their gravity. Even if a Prakhara speaks maliciously, in her presence, they continue to speak pleasantly. Okay, time is getting up. Since malice and other inauspicious elements are present among the Braja gopis, the non-devotee philosophers will criticize. So this is what the Rajkumar is asking. So why it is so? We are talking on spiritual platform. And on a spiritual platform also such negative aspects are there. Malice and some trickery and that kind of dirty politics is there. Then what is the difference between the material platform? Why do they create on the material level, So the answer is the Shiksha Guru is explaining that you understand properly in the right context, The malice and so-called this undesirable traits on the spiritual level is different because that promotes the love for Krishna. Well, the material platform is for selfish interest. So there are two kinds of questions. One takes shelter of dry material logic. So when that question was asked, the Shiksha Guru points out that I understand why you're asking 2 points. On one hand, you are comparing with the materialistic people. Another, you understand that this is taking place on a spiritual platform. So malice and other seemingly inauspicious emotions felt by the Lord's personal associates are meant to enhance Krishna's transcendental pleasures. See, that's the dominant.
Probably not able to hear. Perhaps the internet issue.
Looks like an internet. Prabhu is free. Basically, he's in freeze.
Yes, must be an internet issue.
Charu Prabhuji, we can't hear you. I'm not sure if your internet is still on. I can see the screen share changing, but perhaps you are not able to hear or your video is frozen.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, you can hear.
How much did you miss? I don't know.
Maybe last 3 or 4 minutes we missed it.
Okay, so let's cover up the discussion now. Let's begin the discussion now.
You were going through the slide which said haughtiness, false ego, that slide.
Ah. Okay, so the time is up now. Let's get into discussion now. It was last slide anyway. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you clear, loud and clear, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila
Okay, it's
Prabhupada.
open. It's open for discussion now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Somebody's. I'm sorry. Somebody else is sharing the screen.
I only see the thank you with the Radha Krishna picture on the screen share. Hare Krishna,
Sorry,
Prabhuji, are you able to hear us? Hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm sure you can hear me.
I can hear you, Prabhuji. I can hear you.
Somebody else is sharing the screen. I'm not able to.
It says that you are viewing Charu's screen. That's what it says on my screen. Hello?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is your screen only.
Now, unless you stop sharing, anybody else cannot share the slide.
One minute, let me do that. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now? Haribo?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, sorry. We wasted 10 minutes of it. Okay, it's open for discussion now. I'm sorry for the last slide you didn't hear.
Prabhuji, just have a doubt. Maybe it's silly, like for me, like I don't know how to ask this question. So, all those qualities that came as like, in different categories of Sakhis and Sundaris and Yuteshwaris and, Vipaksha and all that. So there's mention of haughtiness and false ego. So I was just wondering if they are all Nitya Sakhis or Nitya Siddhas or associate of Radharani and Krishna. False ego is something that, it's like this attachment to the body, like in terms of our material body. But for them, there is no material, they are transcendental already. So, how do we understand that part of that quality in
So
terms
that's
of?
not a false ego. So that's not false ego. They are not in material platform. They are
Yes.
all on spiritual platform. So their so-called self-interest is still on the spiritual platform. So their self-interest is who can love, who can get more love from Krishna than their rivals. So that rivalry also on the spiritual platform. The goal is to compete for the love of Krishna. That is what it is. So that's different than the material platform. Material false ego on a bodily platform is different. Here the gopis, they don't have material bodies. They all have spiritual bodies. So that false ego does not apply to them. You understand that? Even though they talk on a spiritual bodily platform.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The goal is to give Krishna maximum pleasure and to compete love for Krishna. That is the goal. So that is completely different. And the term false ego we use on the material platform, that does not apply here.
Okay,
Am I
Prabhuji,
making
that clarifies my doubt. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other points? Hare Krishna. The time is running out. Come on, the clock is ticking. Already we lost 10-15 minutes. Then that's my fault. The internet, whatever it is, that turned me off, that disconnected me.
Prabhuji, can you I still
You
couldn't get the lagu and the duti. Could you please elaborate if possible? If
Yes.
nobody has
Yes.
questions, then
Yes. Now, Laghu and Adhika, Adhika, you understand? Adhika, the word Adhika means addition, more, greater. Laghu, relatively lesser level. That's called Laghu. Laghu means smaller level. The literal meaning is smaller level, lower level. Okay. Atyantika, extreme. And that is the term is to be meant to be used. Atyantika, usually they are the leaders. But to distinguish Radha's role as Adhika, there is also absolute greatness. They don't have absolute greatness, is reserved for Sri Radha. Because nobody is equal to Radha. Okay? But within the group who are serving as a group leader, let's say Chandravali's group. Chandravali is a group leader, right? And she is Atyanta Adhika. But her greatness is not comparable to Radha's Adhika. Okay? Now let's talk about Laghu. Even Atyantika Laghu is there. She's a leader in a particular group, but she's in the lower level than the other group leader who is Atyanta Adhika. The word Laghu means lower level. And same way within the group, nobody is Atyanta, okay? Only the leader is Atyantaka. All the group members are Apekshikas, relatively a lesser level. But within there also there's a hierarchy. There's Adhika, Laghu, and Sama. And the other three classification, Prakara, Mridvi, and Madhya, like that. You understand now the difference? Within that is there, within each member Sakhis in the group. There's gradation is there. So within that gradation, who is going to become who is going to act as a heroine, they get to go. Radharani herself sometimes send one of the Sakhis to Krishna. She herself willingly will send that. Okay. So who will go there? Only those who are more dominating type. Okay. And who gets first? Laghus, they're always at the lesser level. Of course, Radharani also chooses what Krishna desires, and she would send that scheme. So now, is it clear now, the differentiation?
Yes,
Laghu is
Prabhuji.
always at the lower level than
Yes,
Adhikas.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Prakaras are dominating type usually. Okay. Then those are Mridvis. Mridvis, the word Bridu means soft, sweet. Is it clear now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. But we do see this, I mean, of course, we are nowhere closer. Like we do see this kind of qualities in the even in the devotee platform, like devotee, like some
Yes.
people are very leadership oriented and dominating, and some are very subservient and kind of qualities.
That is there actually when Guru Maharaj comes. You see, some of the disciples are so dominating, and they always cover Guru Maharaj. And those who are kind of a lesser level in the sense their nature is too soft, they will not push themselves, but they have a desire to speak to their Guru. The Guru Maharaj only comes once in a year. But the dominating type disciples, they cover the accessibility to their Guru, and that I've seen in real life. I've seen with my Guru. And this group of those disciples, they have a direct access to Guru. And Guru would promote thereby because these are the disciples who coordinate all his programs, activities, everything. And they prevent access to those who are too soft-spoken. They don't get to see their Guru too often. Even when he comes once in a year, I belong to in that group. I mean, I've accepted that situation. I've accepted that because I'm not fortunate. I'm not lucky enough, And so I serve those adhikas, those prakaras in my group. I serve them. At least through them, my message could be transmitted to my spirit. Hopefully, I doubt, but hopefully. So I serve the Lord, and Lord is sitting in my Guru's heart also. So if I make Krishna happy, then Guru will get that message. But I don't have a direct access to my Guru. I never had my access. In my 25 years, I never had any access. Because they're dominating small group, they prevent others to come closer. And sometimes in a good spirit, they do that. Because everybody, 10,000, 100 people rush. They have to maintain certain order. Sometimes they I'm sorry, but they prevent and they restrict. They do that. Not with a malice nature, but to make sure Guru Maharaj is comfortable, not too many people crowd him. So they do it with good intentions. Remember that always. And I take it from that positive spirit. And I understand why they do that. So I accepted that role, willingly accepted. Initially, it was with reluctance, unwilling. But now I understand the situation from both angles. And particularly our Guru Maharaj, remember, his health is not keeping good. And too many people crowd him, that's not good. And that is our ultimate objective, to make sure Guru Maharaj is not overly stressed.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I willingly accepted that role. So I serve through my service. I serve him carrying out his orders, instructions. And his instruction to me, it's imprinted on my heart, my mind. Charuchandra, learn Shastra and teach others. If I follow that for the last 25 years, I've been able to do that. And for the rest of my life, I can do that. There is my service to my Guru, even though I don't have physical access to him. And I'm being very blunt and very frank, but I understand this is required. So Prakhara's roles are like that. Prakhara's role is to make sure the leader is served rightly. But those laghus, the mridvis, they don't get much chance to get access to their leader. The leader, we are now talking about spiritual platform. They themselves come and make sure there is an equal access. But that's on a spiritual platform. Material platform, we cannot expect that. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anybody else? Okay, Sharat Prabhuji, last 7 minutes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. They are actually very difficult to comprehend these concepts and internalize also. But how we can do that is we have to read them again and again. Even if somebody sees the slides, studies them, and try to understand them rather than mugging up, then we'll be able to understand. And at any time, we should not try to compare the material things with the spiritual things. At the spiritual level, it is much, much different. And how different it is and how to understand that is also very difficult. And because all our understanding is based on what experience we have in the material world, what we see and perceive. And we generally try to use that logic in the spiritual world, which is not correct. I think because of these difficult concepts, the devotees may be finding it is difficult to understand, and that's why they are not able to ask many questions. But I hope the basic concepts have been clear. Earlier, the same things they have been taught to us in Ujjvala Nilamani, and they are being actually repeated here. But still, then it is very, very difficult to comprehend and keep in the heart. And without referring to the slides or the notes, it is very difficult to make out what they mean. So this is what it is, and there is not much time left. I would have spoken on something lighter thing, but no time is left. It is hardly 2-3 minutes. So as I had predicted in the very beginning only, all our knowledge, all our understanding, it can be obtained from this Jaiva Dharma, and we should try to understand what is being taught. And in this Madhura Rasa, all these concepts, they are very, very difficult to internalize because we are at a different level, and what is being talked by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that is in a much different level. And that's why it is very, very difficult. But still, then we should try to understand them. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any lingering questions? If not, we may conclude the class. Haribol Saga Prabhuji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Prahlada Dahini. Prahlada Dahini. Hiranyakasipur Bhaksahar. Hiranyakasipur Bhaksahar. Chilatankar Nathale Shilatankhar Nathali. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Bhai Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, Bhai Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, Narasingha Madin Saram Prapade. Narasimhamadin Saram Prapade Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakadbhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakasipur Tanubringam Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakadbhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakasipur Tanubringam Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय शिला प्रपात की जय चारू प्रभु की जय शरद प्रभु की जय गुरुदेव की जय ऑल assembled devotee की जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण चारू प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम
Hare Krishna, Sagar Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, all glory to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glory to all the Vaishnavas, and please forgive my offenses, whatever I might have committed, but I try my best to serve all of you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you very much. Haribo. So I see.
You wanted
And
to
after I'd like to meet my teammates. And this time I want to meet my teammates only. Haribol.
that means Lalit Priya Mataji, Samta Mataji, Nitya Sakhi Mataji, and Sanjeev Prabhuji. Please remain. Others may log off.
Is Sanjeev Prabhu there?
Yes, he's there.
Okay, good.
Yes, let me stop the recording.
So it's all but